Hi, I'm Michelle Boyd Waters with Rethink Your Lifestyle. Teachers, are you considering starting a business? Maybe you'll need a side gig to supplement your income or pay for classroom supplies. Maybe you're considering transitioning out of the classroom and want something of your own to work towards, or maybe you're wanting to build an online community to share what you've learned in the classroom and need it for both reaching as many members of your audience as possible and to pay for itself. In this video, I'll share with you the 6 questions you need to ask yourself and answer so that you can start the business that you love. That first question is, what do you love to do? And then, who is your audience? What problem does your audience have? What solutions can you offer your audience? How can you deliver those solutions? And finally, where can you find your audience? So let's start with that first question. What do you love to do? The best place to start in determining what kind of business will be the best for you is with you. It's kind of like with your students. You want to start with who you are. What do you love to do? If you're wanting your business to be related to education, what do you love most about teaching? Do you love organizing and decorating your room, making everything look just right and flow throughout the day? Do you love being in charge, leading students or colleagues? Do you love sharing information with others? Deep conversations with your students or colleagues, creating lesson plans, units, or professional development. Or maybe you want to start a business that's completely unrelated to education. In that case, what are your non-school interests? Maybe you love gardening, home decor, traveling. Maybe you have a health-related interest like maybe you're looking for healthy options for eating out or managing a health issue in a specific context. For example, a longtime internet marketing colleague of mine runs a website specifically for people who travel and need to eat a low-carb diet. Maybe you're good at social media, web design, or creating pretty documents, and want to serve people using those skills. Or maybe you're a writer and want to use that skill either on your own website or for other people. Now, here's what I need you to do. Get out a piece of paper and draw a line down the middle. And on the left side, make a list of all the things that that are interesting to you, even if it seems far-fetched. One of my colleagues wanted to start a wedding planning podcast, for example, in the area in which she lives, even though she's already married and her children haven't gotten to that point in their lives yet. But just write them down and move on to the right column. So now that you have some idea of what you might want to do, ask yourself, who is your audience? In other words, who do you want to serve? I'm not talking about starting a hands-off business where you upload a few products to Amazon or Etsy and money starts rolling in. First, it's not that easy. But second, we're teachers. We want to connect with people and we want to make a positive difference. So who do you want to connect with and serve? Maybe like me, you want to connect with other English teachers or entrepreneurs. They are your people and you want to learn with them and from them. Or maybe you're part of a gardening community, to go back to that example. Or you're involved in home decorating groups, or like my colleague, you love all things wedding and would love to help new brides. So going back to your paper, in the right column, write down all the communities that you'd love to serve. Now that you know what you love and who you want to serve, think about what problem does your audience have? Chances are your audience probably has more than one problem, and you may not have narrowed down yet which audience you want to serve. So think about them all, or pick your top 2 audiences and consider. Make sure the problems you think about are related to who they are as an audience. So maybe your audience is people who love home decor. You would not write down that they have a problem keeping their dogs from chewing on the garden hose. That kind of doesn't have anything to do with interior home decor. So let's think about what kinds of problems you might discover. For example, if your audience is English teachers, maybe they love reading young adult literature with their high school students, but there aren't a lot of resources out there for newer books. Or maybe you need help figuring out how to motivate students in rural contexts to see the value of reading in their lives right now. Maybe you want to serve the gardening community in your area and you see a lot of people asking about which plants are low maintenance in full sun or shade and in certain kinds of soil in your region's planting zone. Maybe your audience is new moms who want to have an organized home, but they have no budget and 2 small children. Or maybe they love scented candles and waxes, but want a child-friendly option made of natural products. Perhaps your audience is brides in your area who need a one-stop place online to find the vendors they need to create their dream wedding. Not sure what problems your audience has? Find them in Facebook groups, find other businesses that serve the community, and see what solutions they offer. Even better, if you're part of that community, what problems have you faced and created solutions for? So going back to our writing activity, on a new sheet of paper, draw a line down the middle and write one of your audiences in the left column. In the right column, write down what problems that particular audience might have. Do the same for one or two more audiences that you wrote down. So that brings us to our next question. But first, at this point, you can probably see some connections. If you love to do A, and audience B has C and D and E problems, and you need to create solutions F, G, and H, etc. to solve those problems for them. Maybe you kind of see where I'm headed with this. So what solutions can you offer your audience? This question is the easiest to answer if you are a member of your own community. For example, back in the day, I was a member of a few online mom communities, searching for answers to take care of my first child while living in a town where I knew no one. During that time, I taught myself how to build websites so I could create my own to share my writing. Some of my online friends had started creating cloth diapers and baby slings and needed websites to sell their products and patterns to other moms in the community who needed them. One day, one of my friends asked me to build an e-commerce website for her, and that's when I realized I had a solution for a problem that could be the beginning of a beautiful business. If your audience is English teachers who need professional development, perhaps you create online courses or webinars, or maybe they're in person and you just sell access to the event online. Maybe your teachers need lesson plans and units, so you create the presentations, curate the resources, and design the graphic organizers and other printables or digital materials or templates that students will need. Maybe you create online or in-person presentations to help your gardening community design their own garden spaces. Or maybe you create downloadable garden plans. Maybe you offer consulting services. All right, let's head back to our paper. Get a new sheet and create 3 columns. In column 1, write down one audience. In column 2, write down one of the problems they face. And in column 3, write down one or more solutions that you can create, or maybe you already have. Then go over your list and find the audience's problems and things you love to do that speak to you the most, and try to find those connections. As you're working on your chart, what do you notice? Are you creating a lot of the same solutions like presentations or downloadable documents or online courses, for example? Or maybe you find yourself drawn to a specific audience, or maybe there's a particular problem you're interested in solving. I recommend narrowing down your list to either one audience, one problem, or one solution at this point. What speaks to you the most, and what gets you most excited about your idea? Now, look at that one item and think about, how can you deliver those solutions? You can create all the lesson plans in the world, or record all the webinars, or write all the presentation scripts, but if you have no way to deliver them to anyone, you're kind of stuck. So what tools do you need to deliver your solutions? Maybe you want to start an existing online marketplace, or with an existing online marketplace. Maybe you want to start with your own website. I highly recommend this option, even if you sell your products in an existing marketplace too. If you're creating digital products, you'll need to be able to accept payment and provide a way for people to access and download your PDF or zip file or whatever digital product you're selling. If you're designing online learning or professional development, you need a way for people to sign up to attend your webinar or register for your online course. If you're creating a local or online consulting service where people are going to go to learn about what you offer and how much you charge, how can they sign up for a free consultation if you offer them? For the record, I'm going to recommend a free report at the end of this presentation to help you answer those questions, so stick around. Let's think about this. Maybe your audience is beginning gardeners living in Oklahoma who want drought and heat-resistant plants that grow well in clay soil in the shade and produce blue flowers. And you love talking to people and designing, so you want to consult with these people, maybe visit their property or host an online webinar where you learn about their property and then offer specific plant selection suggestions and maintenance suggestions. Or maybe you create a custom garden plan that they purchase from you, or you've created several garden plans and they download the one that meets their specific needs. Again, if you're not sure what you need to make this happen, that's okay. Just write down what you need your audience to do. Download a PDF, register for an online event, enroll in an online course, etc. Remember, I'll provide you with a link to that free report at the end of this presentation to help you figure out which tools you might need to build this. Finally, once you know the one thing you love to do, which is where you'll start, who you want to serve, what problems they have, and which solutions you want to offer. Again, let's just focus on one for now. We have just one more question. Where can you find your audience? Chances are, if you've made it this far, you have already done some research and found people who are members of your audience. If they're teachers, you probably work with them. If they're involved in one of your hobbies, perhaps you're in online communities with them. Maybe you go to church with them, or they're at your children's ball games. Or maybe you live next door or in a Facebook group with the people with people you went to school with back in the day. Or maybe not. If that's the case, you'll need to search online and locally to find your audience. You'll also need to learn what words they use when they're looking for the solution you're offering and where they search. Do they search for solutions in Facebook groups, or do they go straight to Google? For example, every year, English teachers around the world search for scary Halloween short stories in October. I discovered this by knowing what I love to do, which is create lesson plans, who my audience is, middle and high school English teachers, what problems they face, how are we going to convince a room full of middle schoolers to read while wearing costumes and hopped up on sugar on October 31st. What solutions I can offer, bundle lesson plans around 3 scary short stories my students have enjoyed, how I can deliver them through an online teacher marketplace and via membership software on my own site, and where can I find my audience through that same teacher marketplace and Google search. Now that you have these puzzle pieces in place, the number one secret to starting a business is to take action. I have the tools you need to start taking action today. But first, make sure you fill out the graphic organizers that I have included in the report that you need to download. And you can do so by clicking the link below or in the show notes. Thank you. Again, I'm Michelle Boyd Waters with Rethink Your Lifestyle. Please subscribe to my channel.